Several high-profile names are listed in newly released documents turned over by the estate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein files exposed celebrity families' panic. No publicist, no lawyer, and no sum of money can cover a certain kind of devastation. A career won't be destroyed by it. It is not the destruction of one's reputation. It is the ruin of a family dinner table. The person seated across from him at Christmas is the only audience that really counts in the winter of a man's life, when the cameras have gone dark and the cheers have long since subsided. And for 10 of the most celebrated names in the history of Hollywood and global fame, that audience has either gone stone-cold silent, walked out entirely, or in the most brutal cases, publicly declared them a stranger. This is not gossip that you are going to hear. It's not rumors from the tabloid. It is drawn directly from flight logs, legal documents, sworn records, investigative journalism, and verified public statements, all unsealed as part of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Stay with us until number 1, because that particular case involves a family fracture so total, so deliberate, and so publicly declared that it rewrites everything you thought you understood about loyalty and blood. We also cover the backstories of the stories, if you're new to this channel. The true background of the most renowned names in Hollywood. Please subscribe. We don't sensationalize. All we do is tell you the truth at that moment. Now let's get started. Kevin Spacey. We begin at the end because no story on this list concludes in a more final, more devastating fashion than the story of Kevin Spacey. Spacey, a 2-time Academy Award winner who was praised on both sides of the Atlantic, was once thought to be one of the best film actors of his generation. His demise was quick and well reported. However, what transpired within his own family is less talked about and much exacerbated by the Epstein files. When the accusations and connections came to light, his brother, Randall Fowler, did not withdraw into respectable silence. He did not make a measured declaration of support while requesting privacy. When he went public, he wasn't holding back. Fowler called his brother a monster in his own words, which were carried by several news agencies. He then went on to explain that Kevin's actions were not an anomaly, but rather a pattern that went back to their common upbringing. The Spacey family did not respond in a passive manner. According to any reasonable accounting, the severance was planned and intentional. No phone calls were made. There was no financial assistance provided. No peaceful family visits. Kevin Spacey was essentially banished from his own family as a result of Randall's public statements. He was expelled in front of the media rather than privately. For a family that was already at its breaking point, the Epstein Association, the appearance of his name in the larger network of recorded social connections, served as the last piece of confirmation. The surviving family made their stance known by being completely absent when the files added their weight to an already crumbled public standing. As of the most recent era that has been documented, Kevin Spacey has no family support at all for his legal and reputational struggles. Melodrama is not what that is. That is the official record. Leonardo DiCaprio. Throughout his career, Leonardo DiCaprio has maintained an exceptionally tight bond with his mother, Ermeline Indenbergen, who has not only been his mom, but also his manager, gatekeeper, and principal confidant during his rise to international fame. The biggest repercussions did not take place in a trial or at a press conference when DiCaprio's name appeared in connection with social circles listed in the Epstein files, particularly as a named visitor in certain recorded events. It happened between a mother and her son. Ermeline's reaction was swift and severe, according to people close to the family. It must be noted that this wasn't because she thought the worst of her son, but rather because she was enraged by what she saw as a disastrous error in judgment, that a man of his status, with his wealth and reputation, had permitted himself to be in those circles at all. Her claimed requests were straightforward: a thorough reassessment of his former party affiliations, social connections, and the company he maintained on the yacht circuit, which had come to represent his off-screen existence. According to the same intimate accounts, DiCaprio responded with silent cooperation. He distanced himself from his regular social circle. Public appearances dwindled. His world shrank to a small, carefully selected inner circle, with Ermelin acting as the last judge of who was allowed entry, as she supposedly always has. The portrayal of an adult man whose prior social negligence gave his mother the moral right to successfully reorganize his personal life is the tragedy here, and it is a real one. According to reports, the trust between them carries a new and ongoing uneasiness that can be seen in Ermelin's behavior at public events in the aftermath of the revelations. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker's public presence was built on contagious, exuberant laughter, the same kind that turned the Rush Hour franchise into a worldwide success. However, Tucker is a deeply devout man in his private life, and his family completely reflects this viewpoint. Tucker was seen on flights headed for Africa that coincided with Epstein's travel network, according to old video and official travel records. This may seem like a worrisome association to a secular audience. It seemed more like a spiritual crisis to Tucker's deeply religious family. A news release was not the Tucker family's documented response. It was a closing of ranks, but not in Chris's presence. According to close sources, the family treated him with a noticeable and purposeful coldness rather than the usual warmth shown to a returning local hero. The rebuke was clearly of a spiritual nature. His professional accomplishments were not elevated. Rather, in what accounts characterize as direct confrontations, family elders demanded that Tucker provide a detailed account of every journey, link, and association that was recorded. Through the language of their faith, there was a call for what amounted to confession and repentance. According to reports, his siblings and other family members withdrew due to a particular concern that the Epstein connection would tarnish the family's image for moral rectitude. That reputation was crucial in their community. The end product is a man sitting by himself in the dock of his own family's moral court, making millions of others laugh on screen. After discovering that, despite his sincerity, his answers were deemed inadequate by all accounts. Dustin Hoffman. The union of Dustin Hoffman and Lisa Gottsagen was regarded as something akin to a cultural landmark in a Hollywood characterized by a revolving door of brief marriages and highly visible divorces, 50 years. Through all the storms that a marriage may encounter, the cracks in that historic marriage became apparent in the way that long marriages reveal their damage not by shouting, but by silence. When fresh accusations and the reappearance of previous conduct scandals rekindled public scrutiny of Hoffman and the larger Epstein-era documents, added more uncomfortable context. According to people familiar with the family, Lisa Hoffman did not publicly defend her husband in her reaction. It was a retreat. According to sources, she spent a lot of time at homes other than the couple's main residence. This physical and emotional detachment revealed the extent of her effort to comprehend what the years had subtly hidden without a word being said aloud. The Hoffman kids responded in a similar way. In family get-togethers, the unwavering respect that children of a particular generation show a legendary parent gave way to something more guarded, evasive looks, a cautious avoidance of direct interaction with anything pertaining to recorded history, the practical respect of those who no longer regard a man as an example, but nonetheless refer to him as a father. Somewhere on a shelf are Dustin Hoffman's Academy Awards. However, no shelf can retain the question Lisa Hoffman is said to bear in private, whether she ever really knew the man after spending 50 years with him. Naomi Campbell. For 40 years, Naomi Campbell has been one of the fashion industry's most fiercely managed public characters. She has withstood newspaper campaigns, court cases, and issues that would have ruined her career. By all accounts, she is an extremely powerful operator. However, the one audience that Campbell has never been able to control is her mother, Valerie Morris. The public reaction was met with Campbell's trademark defiance when emails and flight logs revealed that he was part of the recorded social network associated with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, social acquaintance. Total innocence. She held her ground with the poise of a crisis-trained professional. Valerie Morris, however, did not call a press conference. She didn't say anything. According to those close to the family, she withdrew quietly, painfully, and in a way that many close to both women instantly recognized as an expression of deep maternal disappointment. According to close sources, Valerie's grief stemmed from a particular and intensely felt contradiction. Her daughter had maintained documented social proximity to a network characterized by the systematic exploitation of young women. She had built a public persona around the language of women's empowerment and had publicly and repeatedly discussed the importance of women protecting and uplifting one another. According to reports, Valerie insisted on a direct, private explanation rather than a staged statement or a news release. According to those sources, Campbell was unable to offer a satisfactory response. The ensuing rift was manifested by absence rather than disagreement. Alongside her daughter, Valerie cut back on her public appearances. In later appearances, the friendliness between them that had always been apparent in photos became notably more formal. Even close acquaintances who had previously acted as family started to keep a wary distance. A runway is still dominated by Naomi Campbell. However, by all accounts, she is a more lonely figure in the place that truly matters to her than any picture can convey. Mick Jagger, through music, movement, and a deliberate unwillingness to be constrained by traditional morality, Mick Jagger has always stood for a specific type of English freedom, the emancipation of post-war Britain. He became a legend as a result. Additionally, it made the reckoning much more difficult in the long run. Jagger attends events thrown by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in London and New York, starting in the 1990s, according to flight logs and social documents from the era. His attendance at fundraising events, which Epstein explicitly exploited to grow and legitimize his social network, is mentioned in other records. These have consistently been described by Jagger's reps as coincidental social interactions among overlapping high society circles. However, this description was deemed insufficient by his children, Georgia May Jagger, Jade Jagger, and their siblings. Jagger has 8 kids. They have grown up in a cultural era characterized, in large part, by an awareness of the exact behavior that Epstein's network enabled. Particularly, Georgia May and Jade are women who have openly connected with feminist ideals and the larger discussion about the safety of young women. This is hardly a subtle clash of eras. According to people close to the family, some of his children have shown a noticeable and persistent lack of affection by refusing to spend long stretches of time in public with their father. According to many close to the family, the attitude is one of humiliation exacerbated by ignorance. According to those sources, they are unable to reconcile the legendary persona with the known closeness to such depravity. According to reports, Mick Jagger, a man who has controlled stadiums of 80,000 spectators with the authority of a room owner, was completely powerless in the one room that mattered. He was unable to provide his own children with an explanation of his previous affiliations that they could comprehend. Morgan Freeman, perhaps the most morally authoritative on-screen presence in Hollywood history, has been created by Morgan Freeman. He has acted as God. He has portrayed presidents. He has performed wisdom in its purest form. The weight of institutional trust rests solely on the voice. This caused his name to appear in the Epstein files, particularly in flight logs that were made public and documented his presence on flights involving Epstein's private aviation network in the 2000s, including trips to private islands and opulent resorts within that network. This had a particularly devastating impact on his family. These flights were social or benevolent in nature, according to Freeman's agents. However, the appearance of his name in that context also coincided with a renewed public scrutiny of previously reported controversies, most notably the widely reported and highly contentious nature of his relationship with his step-granddaughter, Adina Hines, and accusations of inappropriate workplace conduct. Freeman firmly refuted those accusations. However, the public and family observers were forced to re-examine the entire image with new and less forgiving eyes as a result of the Epstein file revelations. According to close sources, the Freeman family did not respond in public. Behind closed doors, it was carried out in a thick and purposeful hush. For his offspring, such as Alfonso and Saifullah Freeman, the guy had served as a source of moral guidance. Their position changed from denial to an extreme defensive posture, a near total retreat from external contact when the flight logs were revealed. The name Epstein apparently became completely taboo at family dinners. Nobody brought it up immediately. However, the way family members gazed at each other across the table during those get-togethers had drastically changed. Once suspicion enters a family's private life, it doesn't go away when the meal is finished. According to accounts, his grandchildren, who had grown up proudly carrying the Freeman name into school hallways, started to hear rumors. In response, they gradually distanced themselves from the grandfather whose reputation had always been passed down to them. Morgan Freeman is still capable of controlling a screen. However, the damage was not done on the screen. Michael Jackson. In June 2009, Michael Jackson passed away. He is unable to protect himself. Regardless of what his name continues to draw, his 3 children, Paris, Prince, and BG, must bear the burden of his name. Jackson's name appeared on lists of famous people who were known to have visited Epstein's Palm Beach residence, according to documents found in the Epstein files. Records from the 1990s expressly mention his attendance at Epstein's home during conversations about business and music copyrights. There is no proof of Jackson's direct misbehavior at that site in the files. They don't have to. Given the long-standing and hotly debated accusations that have dogged the Jackson estate for decades, his recorded presence within Epstein's social network was enough to rekindle every issue that his family has been trying to resolve for years. According to regular reports, Paris Jackson withdraws from social media, sometimes completely, in response to new material that comes to light. She has discussed the weariness of constant defense in a number of public settings. The files are an additional front in a conflict she did not initiate and is unable to put an end to. In response, Prince and BG have adopted a different tactic: unwavering allegiance and complete disengagement from any social group that might raise awkward issues. According to several sources, they have cut back on their interactions with former colleagues who could be curious, genuine love for their father, and a deep, unwavering worry that the only parenthood they have ever experienced would be completely destroyed by documents he is unable to reply to are the 2 main causes of their collective stance. 3 kids, surrounded by affluence and living in lovely mansions, are plagued by a name. That is the reality as it has been documented: Bill Gates. Bill and Melinda French Gates were the closest thing to a humanitarian royalty in the contemporary world for more than 30 years. The language of world improvement vaccines, poverty alleviation, and educational access was the foundation of their public image. It was an impressive building by any standard. In 2011, Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein started their official connection. There is no dispute about this. Gates acknowledged that he was aware of Epstein's 2008 conviction, which resulted in an 182-month jail sentence and travel limitations, and that their meetings went on despite this. According to investigative research, Epstein's approach to Gates was predictably instrumental. He portrayed himself as a conduit to Wall Street's financial elite and suggested use those ties to direct substantial cash into the global health initiatives of the Gates Foundation. More intimate facts are also included in the documents, namely Epstein's documented attempts to use information about Gates's relationship with a Russian bridge player named Mila Antonova as leverage in 2010. According to documented accounts, Melinda French Gates had been very clear about her stance on Epstein. After seeing him in person in 2013, she openly stated her disgust and insisted that her husband cut off all communication. Despite this, Bill Gates kept going to meetings at Epstein's estate in New York. When the whole picture became apparent, Melinda responded by hiring divorce attorneys in secret over the period of more than a year before announcing their separation in May 2021, following 27 years of marriage. Tens of billions of dollars were reportedly involved in the subsequent financial settlement. The most often mentioned figure is that one. However, by any human accounting, the moral framework of a marriage that had established itself as the pinnacle of meaningful collaboration, was the greater loss. Their children, especially their oldest daughter Jennifer, were put in a difficult situation that no child of renowned parents should have to deal with. They had to evaluate a father on whom they had based their worldview. In the years after the divorce, the Gates family's unity in public photos turned into a clearly controlled and tense situation. The base is still there, the union doesn't. Woody Allen. Thus, we reach the top spot. And while the frequency of the verified relationship is impressive in and of itself, it is not the only reason this is at the top. The reason for this is that a son who also happens to be one of the top investigative journalists in the world purposefully caused this family breakup in public. Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein have a detailed and extensive documented history. Epstein lived next door to Allen and his wife, Soon-Yi Previn, on the Upper East Side of New York. According to records, Allen attended about 100 meetings and dinner parties at Epstein's residence between 2014 and 2019, and notably, following Epstein's 2008 conviction. 100 recorded incidents. There was more to their connection than just dining. In 2015, Epstein organized a tour of the White House for the pair. He helped Allen's daughter, Beshet Allen, apply to Bard College by using his connections. Soon-Yi Previn's 2018 email to Epstein, in which she claimed that the modern movement for women's justice had, in her words, gone too far, attracted special attention. There are pictures of the group gathering at family dinner tables and on private planes. These are not pictures of casual acquaintances. They are records of a close-knit and long-lasting relationship. In response to these disclosures, Ronan Farrow, Allen's biological son, Mia Farrow's son, and a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist whose investigative work helped make the Harvey Weinstein story public, did not have private family discussions. The public record was his choice. He looked into and exposed using his position in the industry. He openly rejected Woody Allen, not as a showy gesture, but as a thoughtful, declared stance that the man who is his biological father is only a blood relative and has no moral significance. There were two completely different factions within the Allen home. Soon-Yi Previn has steadfastly and vehemently defended her spouse. Both Ronan and Mia Farrow have been steadfast in their opposition. It has been years since family members have spoken to each other personally. They are not seated at the same table. For Woody Allen, a director who has devoted his career to using forensic expertise to analyze human connections, a court did not render the final decision. With all the accuracy of a man who earns his profession by discovering the truth and documenting it, his own son presented it in print. On this list, the statement is the heaviest, and it is unapologetically at the top. 10 names, 10 households, and in each and every instance, it wasn't the public, the lawyers, or the press that proved uncontrollable. It was them seated around the kitchen table. The Epstein files are court records. However, no court processes can adequately convey the history of what they did to the private lives recorded here, such as marriages, parent-child ties, sibling connections, and grandchildren attempting to carry on inherited names with dignity. The purpose of this channel is to share that history, appropriately, without ornamentation, with the deference that a complex, recorded fact merits. Please click the button below to subscribe if you thought today's program was worthwhile. Tell us which of these family tales best resonated with you in a comment. All of them were read by us. We'll be back soon with more Golden Period history and the backstories of the names you thought you knew. Until then, please remember to look after yourself.